Why did I move here? I guess it was the weather.
GTA 5 released in 2013 and quickly went on to become one of the greatest games of all time. But with an average playthrough time of over 36 hours, most people wouldn't consider it a very good game for speedrunning. Spending thousands of hours learning the route of a speedrun that could take you an entire day to finish was a challenge that a lot of people didn't dare to try. However, that challenge didn't stop players from running, and for years the game has had a very healthy speedrunning competition. But among the thousands of players that have submitted times lies one runner that has gone on to dominate nearly every speedrun category the game has to offer, and even made widespread news with his very first run. This is the story of UnNameD, and how he became the most dominant speedrunner in GTA 5's history. But to do this, we first have to go back to March of 2020. At the start of that year, GTA 5 speedrunning was in a very competitive state. Runners like Burhack, Saurus, and Dry Ice were all setting record times in different categories. But while all of that was going on, another runner who had set dozens of previous world records turned his sights on a completely new challenge that seemed nearly impossible. And that man is someone that you might know, Dark Viper AU.
Welcome to my attempt at a no-hit run of GTA 5. I modded my game so that any damage would kill me, not even armor or Trevor's special ability would save me. Of course, my end goal is to eventually beat the entire game without dying a single time, although there are many obstacles as you will soon see.
The challenge run would officially be named OKO, or One Hit KO. The premise was simple: beat GTA 5 without taking any damage. Get hit by a car too hard, take fall damage, or get shot even a single time and you fail the challenge. In some ways, you could actually consider this the most realistic way of playing GTA 5. But although it might seem simple in premise, this is far from a simple challenge. If you've ever played a GTA game before, then you know that the game is essentially trying to kill you at all times, and this is especially true with GTA 5. In fact, it's thanks to OKO that we got this legendary clip.
What? There aren't cougars in missions!
With how tough of a challenge this was, Dark Viper knew that this challenge would become one of the most prestigious feats in the entire GTA franchise, and knowing that gave him the motivation to try and be the first to complete it. Dark Viper and his community would start coming up with new strategies specifically for this challenge, which is how they found the most useful trick in the entire run: alt strats. Alt strats is simple. The alt key on PC brings up the character select menu, and a weird quirk was discovered when holding this menu open. If you lock your game at 110 FPS or higher, then bullets won't spawn in while this menu is open, meaning you can walk around without the fear of getting shot. It was a pretty controversial strategy, but ultimately it was still allowed due to how hard this challenge was. With extra help from Mac and Will Heisel, as well as a lot of help from Arham, who was also attempting the challenge himself, Dark Viper was determined to be the first person to beat this challenge. He would start posting his attempts to YouTube, and he would get very close to completing it multiple times, like this attempt, where he was 10 hours into the run and managed to make it to the second last mission. But again, this is a no-hit challenge.
It's funny, I'm actually really calm, because I sincerely think I'm gonna fail. You guys believing you're just gonna get let down. That was literally frame perfect. Told you. That shot's literally impossible. That shot has never happened before in the history of me running this game. Those guys do not target Trevor in that corner. I have practiced that hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of times. I've never seen that even once. Tomorrow is a new day, true, of the game cheating me from victory.
It's impossible to put into perspective just how hard this challenge really is. Meticulously going through all 69 main missions while minimizing your risk more and more as the runtime goes past 10 hours, just to potentially lose everything to a single bullet, bad RNG, or even a bug with the game. It seemed as though the difficulty of the challenge was starting to settle in. After over a year of attempts, Dark Viper's determination would start to dwindle, with countless runs ending from stuff that was sometimes out of his control.
Fair enough. The jump was fine, it was just because there were containers down there. I gotta be more careful. You have no conception of how much extra effort I put in to every single frame of this run to avoid failure. You have no idea. There are literally hundreds of strategies that you don't notice that I have to do because I failed in different ways before. I'm so over this. I've been over this for months.
And it was starting to seem like the GTA community would never see this challenge finished. But out of completely nowhere in May of 2021, a video was posted by a completely unknown name to the GTA community, and he was claiming that he had done the impossible, beating Dark Viper and becoming the first person in the world to complete GTA 5 without taking damage. And that runner was unnamed. The community was in shock. A name that no one had ever heard of came out of nowhere and became the first person in the world to complete the hardest run in GTA history. He wasn't even a speedrunner, just someone like us who played a bit of GTA Online starting in 2019. But after getting inspired from watching Dark Viper's attempts, UnNameD started practicing the strats, and he even developed some of his own. UnNameD completed the run in just 9 hours and 3 minutes, and it only took him a total of 48 attempts. But what's even more impressive is that UnNameD didn't even use the controversial alt strat when beating it, simply because his PC couldn't handle 110 FPS. Congratulations poured in from the community for UnNamed's run. Even news outlets and other gaming communities that had no affiliation with GTA showed their support for this massive gaming accomplishment. But he hadn't done it for any praise. He just wanted to show off some of his own strategies that he had developed while practicing. But despite that, the community still praised both this run and UnNameD for officially making history. But now that UnNameD had completed the challenge that a lot of people had thought was impossible, a thought had crossed his mind. If UnNameD was able to beat the hardest challenge after just 48 attempts, then could he do the exact same with speedrunning? Maybe he could, but it was going to be really tough. Some of the community's most talented runners like Burhack, Rare, AlexHonix, and Saurus were still setting insane records over a year later. But if there's one thing we know about UnNameD, it's that a challenge doesn't really faze him. UnNameD would begin immediately learning the run and even started setting competitive times in the brand new segmented runs. Segmented runs, or segments, are when you group certain campaign missions or heists into different segments and create shorter speedruns around those few missions. The Polito Score segment, for example, is timed from the start of Minor Turbulence to the end of the Polito Score heist, which is just 4 missions in total. Just 2 days after this category was created, UnNameD would get his first official world record on August 16th of 2021, just 2 months after his Oko run, with a final time of 32:04, beating AlexHonix by 7 seconds. However, UnNameD was starting to struggle with setting competitive times in other categories solely because his PC couldn't handle a lot of the FPS strats throughout the run. But in November of 2021, UnNameD would finally be able to buy a new PC, and from there, he became unstoppable. At the start of 2022, UnNameD would set the third way segment world record with a time of 45 minutes. And on April 18th, he would get the Deep Inside world record with a time of 28 minutes and 16 seconds. Now, if you watch all of these speedruns, you will notice that there is one strat being used throughout every single run, and it is simply known as On Mission Zero Skip. By starting the Cletus side mission as soon as you enter director mode, you can confuse the game into thinking you're in a mission when you're really not. By then going through Cletus's objectives, you can get the game to save these mission checkpoints for later use, and when you start another mission, it can be completed nearly instantly. It's a little more complicated than that, but all you need to know is that this glitch allows you to skip multiple missions throughout an entire run. If done optimally, this glitch could save you 20 minutes in a full game run. On Mission 0 was discovered right when UnNameD started to speedrun, and knowing just how good this strat was, he adapted to it quite quickly. However, with the discovery of a strat that lets you skip entire missions, this undoubtedly caused a divide within the community. Some of the current runners felt like this glitch kind of ruined the speedrun by letting you skip entire missions, and so the community decided to separate On Mission 0 records from non-On Mission 0 records, putting them into different categories. But UnNameD didn't really mind, because he would go on to absolutely dominate the On Mission 0 categories throughout 2022. UnNameD moved on from dominating the segmented categories and into the much more competitive runs like Any% and 100% with On Mission 0. He would set both the Any% Classic and Any% Taxis records in May of 2022.
G, it's over.
Do I look like I cared?
Yes.
And in July, he would get the 100% Taxis and 100% Classic world records as well.
Okay, I don't fucking care. This run is bad.
What's the difference between Taxis and Classic, you might ask? Well, there's a feature that lets you use Taxis to fast travel anywhere on the map, so the Taxi category lets you use this feature, while Classic does not. By September of 2022, UnNameD held every single On Mission 0 record in GTA 5, proving that he was the king of On Mission 0 skips, including having the longest and most grueling run in the entire game, all missions. For this, you have to complete every single main and side mission in the game, and he secured a world record of 12 hours, 28 minutes, and 13 seconds, all done in one single stream. But while he had spent the first year of his speedrunning focused on Mission 0 records, the most prestigious runs for GTA 5 speedrunning belong to the no On Mission 0 categories, and the two most prestigious of them all were Any% Classic and Trevor%. Any% Classic is beating the entire campaign start to finish without using a taxi or mission skips, and Trevor% was a segmented run from the prologue to the end of the jewel store heist, right before you meet Trevor in the story, hence the name. While Any% Classic is by far the most prestigious run and the record most players dream of, Trevor% was the most competitive category, thanks to its shorter length and not needing On Mission 0. UnNameD may have been good at the On Mission 0 categories, but those times were far less competitive than the runs without it. If UnNameD wanted to be known as the best runner, then he would have to prove that he could take those world records as well. And the times to beat were 55 minutes and 21 seconds in Trevor% set by Below, and a time of 5 hours, 45 minutes, and 35 seconds in Any% Classic set by Rare. So UnNameD did what he knows best, and practiced the route for hours and hours trying to find any new strategies for each category. And in November of 2022, he started up his stream attempting some no On Mission 0 runs, and UnNameD did this.
Do carbine money. Fuck, I'm going for it then. Everything now lies on one strat. Let's go! It actually works. We are kinda more like Travis world record pace. It's a world record. Let's fucking go! There we fucking go. 5-second world record. And now we continue. I hate that bump. Okay, this whole run now depends on one split. This run is filled with toxicity from the game.
UnNameD had set the world record in both of the most prestigious categories in one single run. A world record of 55-16 in Trevor percent and 5 hours and 45 minutes in any percent classic. Once again, UnNamed's double world record run would get universal praise throughout the GTA community, with debates around him being the greatest GTA 5 speedrunner. But despite him completing this crazy run, UnNameD was far from finished. For the next 5 months, UnNameD wasn't just setting new records, but he was also maintaining and even beating his own previous records in different categories. A huge part of UnNamed's ability to do this was by utilizing a new trick that was recently found, known as brake boosting. The road in GTA 5 is never completely flat. There are tons of tiny bumps or ramps in the road, and brake boosting utilizes these to the fullest. By holding brake momentarily while going over one of these bumps, your car will gain a substantial amount of speed when it lands. And pairing this with Franklin's driving ability means you could get your car up to speeds that made it look like you were using mods. Because of how much driving you have to do in this sometimes 6-hour run, this trick is probably the most used and can save you huge amounts of time over an entire run if done optimally. UnNameD became quite good at this trick as well, and was a huge part of his ability to set record times. In March of 2023, he would lower his own any percent classic no on mission 0 record to 5 hours and 42 minutes, and would officially get recognized by the Guinness World Records for his amazing run. UnNameD had proven himself as the top GTA 5 runner, and while working on setting new records, he was still going back to reclaim his old on mission 0 records as well. In August of 2023, he took the any percent taxis no on mission 0 record, and a few months later, he would set the 100% taxis no on mission 0 record in January of 2024. Around this time, UnNameD would start to get some competition from runners like Rare and Alex Honix, who were both setting exceptional times in their own right.
Finally it worked. 9:31:43 world record. Yes! Finally!
But every time either Alex or Rare would set a new record, UnNameD would come back shortly after and take it right back, proving that UnNameD may be the greatest GTA player of all time. UnNameD was somebody that no one had ever heard of prior to 2021, but in just 4 short years, he went from no one to being called one of the greatest GTA players of all time. What started off as him trying a fun challenge then turned into him breaking record after record and becoming the most dominant runner in GTA 5 history. By the end of 2024, UnNameD had held the world record in every single main category for GTA 5, and most of those records are still held by him to this day. And even though UnNameD doesn't run as much anymore due to there not being a ton of competition, he still holds over 21 world records in GTA 5. And when it comes to any percent classic, the most prestigious of them all, he has managed to bring his own time down to 5 hours, 36 minutes, and 54 seconds, which is where the record stands today.